Hey. Life is the essence of it all. I'm sheltered with no one to call. I do it on my own. Life, some come as they go. One thing we'll always know, I do it on my own. Oh, in love, feels it as a strap. I try not to ever relapse. I can't do it all alone.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Well, first, my name is Brian Castellanos. My parents, I'm actually first generation American. Okay. My parents came from Dominican Republic, so they came over here. They first moved to New York. So I have two older brothers and a little brother. Both my older brothers were born in New York. They were born in New York, and then I was born in Texas. And then my little brother was born in Miami, but I don't remember nothing from Texas. So, yeah. But yeah, so I turned 1 year old in Miami. I lived out there till I was about 9 in Hialeah. Okay. And then I moved over here to Tampa. And I guess I could say Tampa is really where I learned all like the foundations of life and everything like that. Damn, what was that? Yeah, I'd say that the foundation to life was figured out over here. Like in Tampa is where I found myself and things like that. And then I had an uncle that he kind of like would explain life to us. So even though I was raised in religion, he kind of like strayed us away from that and made us start opening our minds to different things and be free thinkers. So I guess around like 12, 13 is when like I really started changing up the way I was thinking and that kind of stuff.
So like what's your first like life experience that you can say you had? Like,
when I lived in Miami, we had like a pastor come over to our house because we had another uncle that stayed with us, and he would always see, I guess, paranormal stuff. Mm-hmm. Like the door would just shut, lights would turn off, and that kind of stuff. And when the pastor came to our house, he told us that our house was built on an Indian burial ground. Yeah. Wow. So they were pretty much like fucking with us, like the spirits and everything that lived in that area. So I guess that you could say. I woke up one night, and I know I was fully conscious. It wasn't like a dream or anything, because I can tell the difference. And I pretty much seen like this weird creature-looking thing sitting in like, you know how like they have those rooms where they have the air conditioning stuff, like all that whole utility closet or whatever. Yeah, well ours didn't have a door, so at night it'll be pitch black in there. Yeah, and I look over and I seen some shit just chilling in there. Yeah, because since I'm one of 4 brothers, we've always shared a room. Like I didn't grow up with like big ass houses or anything like that. So we all shared a room, and then my parents' room was right next to ours. And like I look over and I see that everybody's sleeping. We had like 2 bunk beds, or not 2 bunk beds. We had like, it was like 1 bed and then a bunk bed, and my bed was under because I used to like pee my bed and shit when I was little. So I had like a special mattress and all that. And then yeah, just like look over and I'm just like, dog, what the fuck is that? So like I turn over and I'm just like, I'm not looking over there ever again. Yeah, like I can even draw out the way that creature looked like. And it was like smiling at me. It was super freaky. I know that for a fact.
Maybe just play with the air, and it's like, because I feel like kids like they live on a different plane than we live in. Like, you know, like they understand things differently than we do. They just can't comprehend them. You feel me? So like,
well, I think that's just our older minds and like our ego telling us that they don't comprehend. But I feel like they know way more than we do. And I experience it all the time with her, just how she is with her little cousin and stuff like that. And she has a cousin that's always saying, oh yeah, she wants to do this. It's like, how the hell do you understand her? But when you start understanding how they even start learning language, then it all makes sense. Because it's first is based on feelings and intention. That's what they they pick that up first before they even pick up the word. So as you start using the same word with the same emotion, the same intention, then they put both two and two together, and then that's how they learn the language. But they pretty much like telepathically or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, they're already connected. It's unfair to our souls. I feel like this system is built to suppress certain things. So they want to like create a certain block for everything. Because they're afraid, you know what I mean? If we really figure out, if everybody were to figure out exactly what we really are, then that shit will scare the fuck out of the people that run the system or whatever you want to call it. So now it makes sense, but at the same time, I feel like the universe puts everything in play so that you're able to wake up, you know what I mean? It's up to you to pay attention to it. It's always giving you signs and messages and things like that, but you choose not to try to indulge in those messages, you know what I mean?
Try to.
Yeah.
So you know, like I really feel exactly where you're coming from with everything you're saying. You know, it's like I can really understand that you see things differently, and you know that the government is a wall that they want to keep us behind.
It's like how I'll quote Betty just because I really like that song that she did, where she said that like at the end of it she says like kind of like a spoken word kind of rhyme when she says that like the government, the government's an illusion, which it pretty much is. Like it depends how connected you want to be to it. Like it allows you to either unplug or be plugged in, and then if you start feeding into all the fear and start feeding into all that, then maybe the stuff that you're afraid of from them is going to start happening to you. But when you let go of the fear, then they can't even fucking touch you, you know what I mean? I don't feel like ideas are even ours. I feel like there's a sea of ideas, and all we do as individuals is kind of tap into it, like fish in that stream of consciousness or idea that if you, like whatever way you want to think about it. But I feel like that's just what we do. I feel like everything already exists. It's kind of how they say that there's nothing new under the sun, and I just feel like everything is just there. It's you that starts tapping into these things, but at the same time as you're tapping into it, there's 7 billion other people that have the opportunity to tap into the same thing. And I feel like there's 2, 3, 10, hundreds of people all tapping into the same idea at the same time. But I feel like ego is what makes us feel like, oh, nah, that was mine first. Yeah, but it's like, nah, you have to understand that everything's free for everybody. You know what I mean?
Especially thought. It don't cost nothing to think of something.
Yeah, exactly. And even to create, like people get so hell-bent and lose that feeling of just creating because they're worried about what somebody else is doing that's similar to them, not understanding that the idea isn't even yours. Yeah. You're not, like, all you're doing is trying to copy what God already does.
So, can you state your name?
Joseph Bernard Bivens Sr.,
Where you from?
Tampa, Florida.
What is life to you, Mr. Bivens?
Opportunity.
So do you feel that, how do you feel about this generation and how they take opportunity? Do you feel that they take advantage of opportunity? Do you feel they have enough opportunity?
Well, it isn't really for me to say because I might be not looking through the window clearly. I might have a good vision on what I deem is right and what is really right. So, you know, you have to elaborate a little further. I mean, life is opportunity because of growth. You know what I mean? Growth is evolution. Everybody has a chance to change. Everybody has a chance to grow. So therefore, if you have life, you have opportunity. So, you know, for me to say what is right for the younger generation, that would be for me looking from an older perspective.
Yeah.
You know, from looking through the windows in the eyes of someone young, I would say it's just like I was when I was young, trying to figure it out and getting in trouble while they're doing it.
It's acceptable almost. It's almost accepted when, at least I see for the younger generation with friends, I'll say with friends, it's accepted for your friend to do something wrong and you think it's okay. Well, like back in the day, you had friends who would tell you like, all right, G, like, you know, you tripping.
Not really. You still have those periods, but we realize the things that are not conductive, you know, towards us as a generation of young black men beginning to be older black men that are leaders. We've fallen short of the goal. The goal being reach one, teach one, and help your fellow man. You know, But the reason I say it's not for me to judge because what I see through my own eyes, starting with looking at myself, is not acceptable. You know what I mean? So therefore, if I don't have, you know, the things that I know I need to be susceptible to them, what am I showing them? How could I be a pillar of light when my light ain't even shining? True. So to me, life is opportunity. You know what I mean? Wake up, find a goal, and reach for it, and don't let nobody tell you that you can't achieve that. Because number one, you're beautiful. Number two, somebody loves you. Number three, you live in America where everything is possible.
If you toss me the gun, swear to God, I'ma give it a shot. Yeah, I'ma give it all I got. I don't care if you believe me or not. I ain't a killer, but my nigga, if you toss me the gun, swear to God, I'ma give it a shot. Yeah, I'ma give it all
really
I
only
got.
one thing that changes life. Everybody was born, everybody's gonna die. There's you know, if you sit there worrying about time, it's gonna get harder. It's gonna suck. So if you just worry about that one thing, then it makes everything all right. It's basically just love, really. That's all it is. Not one human being is made to be negative. That's taught. No one, a baby doesn't come out hating black people, you know. A baby doesn't come out racist. A baby don't come out, you know, want to be a police officer. And, you know, none of that happens. You know, it comes with time and what you learn in life. But the number one thing is that when a baby comes out, it's laughing. You know, when a baby, you know, sits there, you know, it's happy. Unless it's hungry, it's happy. And that, the number one reason is because it was born with love. That's all it is. That's all life really is. I mean, I love to rap, so I rap. People love to hear me rap, so I continue to rap. People love to see me perform, so I perform. Not only because of that, it makes me happy. And me being happy means that I love myself. And that's all life is. If you take it into detail and you go an hour and a half and you go 2 hours, you're thinking too much about what life means to you individually. Well, if you sit there and you think about what life is as a whole for everyone, because you know we're all brothers and sisters, we're all on the same planet. You might as well just say it. We're all brothers and sisters, no matter color or race. So if you just sit there and you think about the overall what is meaning of life, then it makes it much less complicated. Because you put your own little spin on it. I went through this, I went through that. I lost my brother from cancer. You know, my brother died when I was 6 years old, right in front of me from cancer. That doesn't mean I don't love my life. That doesn't mean that, you know, everybody else hasn't had it as bad as me. There's people who are worse. I've always had a roof over my head. I've never been homeless. I'm in a position to afford my own car. You know, I'm in a position where, you know, I have certain record labels looking at what I'm doing and noticing who I am. You know, getting out of just the broad things of Tampa. And that's not just me saying, you know, that because of those things I love life. It's not that. It's just the fact that the path I choose to take is a path of just positivity, you know, peace and just love. And that is what really life is. That's what it's meant to be honest. I mean, it's not meant to be negative. It's not meant to be, you know, a murderer. It's not meant to, you know, people people say God doesn't make mistakes, but God ain't perfect either. Because if we're made in His image, that man's not perfect. So he's gonna slip up once or twice, you know. He's gonna make people who aren't all the way there and they don't know how to react to it, so they go on, you know, killing sprees and they do all stupid shit. But in a broader term, life is just love. That's all it is. Life is just love.
I don't give a damn if I get it. If you get that, I swear to God, I feel like that's what it was for.
Yeah, sure.
That's what it was for, man. Niggas be be stingy, bro. Get something and think that they're an island with. Hell nah, bro. Hell nah.
We were just talking about that. Was that yesterday? I was like, you got a table. You got 2 tables, but you got 20 books, and you want to put all 20 books on this one table. You know the table gonna break when you could put 10 on this one and 10 on that.
You know that go when you hear that, when you say that, I think about the Bible when it say you shouldn't be unequally yoked. When you got 2 ox, right, and you got this 2,000-pound load you putting on the whatever they carrying, right? If you replace one of them oxes with a donkey, guess what? You put most of the weight on that ox. Yep. And guess what that ox gonna do? How strong it is or whatever, it's gonna break down. It's gonna break down.
May you please state your name?
Father Rick Campbell.
Father Rick Campbell. Okay, I'm gonna ask you one question, Father Rick Campbell. What does life mean to you?
Well, that's a good question. I think it's an important question we should answer. Life is, to me, a gift that God made us, made me, in His image, and Jesus asked us to live life to the full, and the way you do that is you love God and you love your neighbor. And when you do that, you have lots of energy, and you have a lot of feeling of the accomplishment, a feeling that life is worthwhile. And even though you might have tragedy in your life, or ups and downs, the constant is that God loves us, and that we have a destiny, we have a purpose. God didn't just throw us down here. He said, okay. So my destiny has been to be an Episcopal priest. I'm still doing that 40 years after I was ordained this past week. And, you know, life is good.
Yes, sir.
That's what's gonna happen. So you can't be unequally yoked. You gotta put. That's why Jesus, man. Look, that's why Jesus, when Jesus say, my yoke is easy, my burden is light. Look who you depending on to carry the weight for you. But let me tell you, I always tell people like this. I got a little song I did with me and this girl. You know what I'm saying? And she put me on a little song with it. So I had my little verse, man. And it was basically one of the things. You know how I heard Biggie said, and I heard Lil Wayne said, but the way I said, I had to grow up. I grew up before I screwed up before I grew up, and I had to screw up before I grew up. You know what I'm saying? So like my stepdad tell me, it's better to be a young fool than an old fool. So where I was, you know what I'm saying, in the streets and whatever, it was like I knew God, but on some real talk. By the time I was 19, went to Kansas City, was ready for that transition of legit, the legit world, the real world is how I consider it. I was in competition with Jesus, how Satan is to God. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm gonna be better than Jesus. He talking about walking on water. See, I believed in all that already. You know what I'm saying? So I believed in the signs and the wonders and things like that in the Word. So I never cause man, I know I ain't see everything. You can't see everything in this life. You ain't seen everything in this life, and if you believe that, then you're a blind man. You know what I'm saying? So we, you know what I'm saying? So when I don't call it religion, man. I call it lifestyle, man. Because this is lifestyle Christianity, what I do. Because when you see me, I'm in front of the church, I'm picking up trash or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? If I locked up, I'd be doing it for the jail. You know what I'm saying? To be a trustee so I can get out my cell or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about cleaning your toilet, whatever. Whatever you want me to do so I can have a little taste of freedom. But I'm free right now. And I'm a different type of free. I ain't talking about a worldly free or free will where I can just walk around with my free will. It's really just Satan's will. So as long as I'm lined up with the will of God, it keep me sane. It keep me safe.
A foreclosed house for a while, like 6 months. After them 6 months, I moved back in with my parents. After that, I moved in with my girl parents in Sulphur Springs. So I was just basically all over the place, angry at the world, mad all the time. I don't know, I guess like when I just really sat down, like up until like 2015, because this was the whole year. My life was like that. So 2015 was like a wake-up call for me. They finally took me off of probation, so I was able to get a job. It wasn't a good job, but I mean it was a job, you know. And started really going hard with the music. It was just a lot. And I already had a daughter, so that was really my motivation in life. But when my son was born, because I always wanted a son, it was like I really had to step down and just, do this, because now I got 2 kids. So I just buckled down and did what I had to do. I mean, every now and then you're going to do dirt in life, but I don't plan on doing nothing drastic enough to get me in trouble, because I got mouths to feed. But yeah, I guess that's my story.
His name is Yeshua.
Joshua. So explain to me your outlook on that.
Yeshua in Hebrew means God is salvation.
Okay.
And Isaiah, I believe, I know, and they talk about it in the beginning of Matthew, in the introduction of Matthew of Jesus and the genealogy, and then when they get down to Jesus, it say Joseph, right? Well, whatever who begot Joseph, Jesse begot Joseph or something like that, right? And then Joseph begot Jesus, right? So, and they say who name they should be they should call Emmanuel, which means God is with us.
Yes.
God with us. So when they named him Yeshua, meaning because they don't have a J in Hebrew. So you know what I'm saying? And then it went from Yeshua to ISIS, in a sense, ISIS, or something like that. But it was ISIS in a sense, right? And that was the Greeks or the Romans, that they had no J neither, but they didn't have a Y, so they used the I. You know what I'm saying? And then when we got to the I guess the Latin root, the J was added. You know what I'm saying? And then it was the name itself was totally diluted. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like his face. It's just like his origin. You know what I'm saying? And God meant for it to be that way. One of the main reasons, like even still, I struggled in the beginning, I do today, with his image, because of the blonde hair, blue-eyed Jesus that we see, pale skinned man. And then I look at the Pangean map. You know what I'm saying? The first map that they say is the first map, right? And I see how all the continents are conjoined into one landmass in one specific part of the world, which basically made probably what is 80% water, it probably was 95% water. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? I feel like when God every so often, if you try to look at their concepts, the man's concepts on the map and it's changed, like you see, like you just think about all the catastrophic stuff that done happened in the earth. You know what I'm saying? And some of it ain't mentioned in the word. You know what I'm saying? Because the Bible's time frame and the biological time frame and stuff don't mix up. So basically, what I'm saying is, man's wordplay grew.
Yes.
And as man's wordplay grew,
the story grew.
It's just like the song, the game Telephone.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And but that's why I read the word, and even then, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna take a pilgrimage to Israel. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm as devout as Islam is to their walk. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, we actually worship in the same temple. The Hebrews and the Islam. The Palestinians and the Israelites, they worship in the same, just on one side of the wall, on the other. And that's why they war. That's the real war. And you know, that's what the government is after right now, man. They've been after that ever since Constantine in 321 is when he got voted in. 325 is when the Council of Nicaea took place, which was when they conformed the word of God into these specific gospels. So we so stuck in this Western mind state where it's like, man, oh, you this, you that, you this, you that, and we got so many categories. You know what I'm saying? So we forget about the main topic. We so stuck. It's crazy, right? The key to success is the tedious thing, but we worry about things that have no real significance. You know what I'm saying? Worrying about the tedious things all the time.
Life is a privilege. I mean, it's just like getting your license. You turn 16, you get your license, and you know, there's that sense of responsibility. You understand? So when you ask someone what is life, you know, a very democratic answer should be a responsibility, a privilege. You know, every day you wake up, you know, I thank the Most High, you know, waking up and moving through the day. I mean, it's just, you can get shot. I mean, nowadays, think about life, it's so dynamic. So it's a privilege. You know, God or whoever you believe in puts you here, and really and truly, He runs your destiny. He already knows when you're gonna die. He already knows if you're gonna be a millionaire, if you're gonna remain broke. So for me, life is a privilege. You know, I moved here from South America. I mean, I can remember as far as when I was like 3-4 years old. You know, I thought Disney was life. You know, I've come to Florida, moved to Florida. You know, I had no idea. Actually, I moved to New York, and then I moved to Florida. When I was in New York, I'm like, Mom, where's Disney? Disney's not in New York. You gotta go to Florida. Moved to Florida. I went to Disney once. Disney's not life. You know, the privilege of being able to move from a third world country to a country like this one. You know, for me, that was life. I mean, that's a privilege. I have friends back home right now that aren't gonna never see this. They're never gonna be able to experience what I've experienced. So I think I relate life
based on my successes. You know, the ability to take a little bit and make it something. You know what I mean?
What is life? Life is beautiful.
Got my bags at the door, cause it's time to go and get it. Why not do more when the sky is the limit? Every day is a struggle. Yeah, 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 yeah. Will I hold that crumble? Yeah, 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 yeah. Every day is a struggle. Yeah, 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 yeah. I gotta sink or swim. I gotta sink or swim. Been through it all and ain't never going back. Got a glimpse of the light and I see where I'm at. Took a lot of falls when I couldn't see the path. And I face them in the eyes, man, you wouldn't believe the math. Thankful for the people that's been holding me down.
So my postscript is, we're here to make the world a better place. Every day you say, how can you use me, God? How can you bring mercy and kindness through my life and make the world a better place? You can go to sleep at night and feel at peace. And so God bless all.
Listen, these dudes too, niggas, so please don't shoot. Cause when you pop, I feel that too. All for one and one for all. And when we all at the top, it's when we all gon' bow till then. Every day is a struggle. Yeah, yeah.